Welcome back to DKK Boutique. If you're new here, hey. If you're not new here and you're returning, hey. So, as y'all read about the title for today's video, we are making a granny square. We're making a granny square today, and not only are we making a granny square, we're making a granny square with no magic ring, no magic circle, whatever you want to call it. We're not using that. We're going to do it the easy way, okay? So, oh, and also for this granny square, I'm going to be switching colors. If you guys would like a tutorial on how to not just do like one solid color, please comment down below and let me know, and I will have that up for you guys. So before we get started, thank you guys for clicking on this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn on post notifications. And yes, let's get started. Alrighty guys, so this is the granny square we're going to be working today. I am using 5 colors. So yeah, this tutorial is me doing more than one color. This is some Wait For. I love this yarn. You're going to need a 5mm hook, and you're going to need some scissors. So Wait For yarn or whatever yarn, 5mm hook and some scissors. If you guys want to know what colors I used, I have turquoise. This is tropical pink, white, periwinkle, and key lime for the Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. So I'm going to leave this up here so you guys can see as we go. And let's get started. So again, I will not be using a magic circle. So we're going to make a slip knot. And if you guys do not know how to make a slip knot or chain or do a slip stitch or any of that sort, or double crochet or anything like that, please go to my previous 2 videos where I explain how to do each stitch and how to basically start your project. So, but this pattern is beginner friendly as well. So, slip knot, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a slip knot into this first chain right here. Okay, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this V right here, hold on, this V right here, so basically behind this stitch, behind this V is where we're going to do our first double crochet right here, behind this V. Before you did your 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, we're going to go behind this V. So to do your first cluster, and also a friendly reminder, your chain 3 does count as 1 double crochet. So we're going to do a double crochet behind that V stitch. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. So a cluster is usually 3 stitches for your granny square. So again, this chain 3 is a chain, counts as a double crochet, sorry, and then you have 2 double crochets. So now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to add 3 double crochets into this hole right here. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and then we're going to add another cluster into this center hole. So most of this, the pattern is basically repetition, double crochet, chaining, slip stitch. got our 3, then we're going to chain 2 again, and then do our 3 double crochet, 2, 3. Okay, so now we have our 4 clusters, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what we have over here. So now we're going to always chain 2. We're about to close our work, chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into this 3rd chain where we first started. So your 3rd chain is usually right before your stitch. So this is a stitch. You see the V? This is your stitch, and this is where your chain is, right here. So you're going to slip stitch into the your third chain from when you did your 3 chains at the beginning. So we're slip stitching into the 3rd chain. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to cut our work. So I usually fill in my stragglies at the end, or I just cut them. It's totally up to you. So I'll show you guys how to do that right now, actually. So you're just going to go behind your other loops and just pull it through. That's basically it. Anyways, so on to the next color, which is our periwinkle. So usually what I like to do, I do not start where I stopped, if that makes sense. So wherever I cut my string at, I would go to the next hole, which would be this one. So what I'm going to do is get my next color, insert my hook, and I'm gonna wrap that around like that, pull it through, take my yarn attached to the yarn ball skein, and we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. It may get loose, but what I do, I just pull it from the back. Okay, so I remember that chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. So again, we need a cluster, which is usually 3 double crochet. So that's 2, and then that's 3. So now we're gonna work into this hole right here. So usually the only time that you chain 2 is when you're going in the corner. So we're gonna do 1 cluster, which is 3 double crochet. Okay, and then we're gonna chain 2, and then we're gonna add another cluster, which again is 3 double crochet. 3 double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to work into the next corner, which we will do 2 clusters. So 3 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do another cluster, which is 3 double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to work into the next corner and do a cluster, which is 3 double crochet. Okay, so we're working in the next corner, and we're going to do 3 double crochet. Okay, then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to add another cluster, which is 3 double crochet. And for this little piece that's sticking up from the previous row, I just like to, it basically pushes it back. So just push it back when you're doing your double crochet, and it'll go to the back. See? It'll go to the back. And then now to close off, so we did 2 clusters in each corner. So this corner has 1 cluster. So what we're going to do is add the second cluster. So again, 3 double crochet, always chain 2 when we're in the corners, and then we're going to slip stitch into our third chain that we did at the beginning when we first started the round. Slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 and cut our work. How are we feeling, you guys? We just did row 2 of our granny square. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Oh, sorry about that. So now we are on to the white row, which is the 3rd row. Okay, so we're going to get our next color. And again, when I said when we're starting, I don't go into the same cluster where I stopped. I just go into the next one. So we have some corners, and then we have a middle piece. So we're going to be doing the corners and then the middle piece. So in the corners is where you'll do your 2 clusters with the chain 2 in the middle. In the middle one, you just do your 1 cluster. So insert, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do our first cluster. So our chain 3 always counts as 1 double crochet. So we're going to add 2 double crochets, 1, 2. So we have our first cluster, and now we're moving to the middle. So in this middle piece, since it's not a corner like this one, we're just going to do 1 cluster. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to our corner where we're going to do 1 cluster, chain 2, 1 cluster. One cluster, chain 2, second cluster, okay. So now I'm going to do this last side with you guys, and I will see you back when we're done. Okay, so we're going in the center right here. So we're going to do our 1 cluster in this center, and then we're going to go to this corner stitch, and we're going to do 1 cluster, which is 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to do our second cluster, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, y'all, so this is what we should be looking like so far. So I'm gonna see you guys once we get to the end, this last cluster. Alrighty, you guys, so now that we're at the end, I didn't attach it yet, so we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into our 3rd chain that we did at the beginning of the round. Chain 1 and cut our work. You guys, I'm so excited. Okay, y'all, so we just did 3 rounds of our granny square. Comment down below, pause the video, take a breather, comment down below, how are we feeling so far? Are you getting the hang of it? Is it a little difficult? Or let me know what the vibes are. So this is row 3. I'm going to do, since I'm starting in this corner, I'm going to do this much with you guys, and then I'm going to catch you guys around the other side. So grab your next color, and we're going to go into this hole right here. So, and always remember that your chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So we have our chain 3, and then we're going to do our 2 double crochets, which is 1, 2, and then remember guys, in the center, so now on this row we have 2 centers. So in these 2 centers we're just going to do 1 cluster. So 1 double crochet, 2, 3, and then we're going to go to our second center, and we're going to do 1 cluster in that one as well. Okay, and now we're at our corner, which is going to be 1 cluster, 2 chains, 1 cluster. So one cluster, chain 2, 1 cluster. Okay, so this is how we should be looking so far. So again, I'm going to meet you guys back when we close it over here. So if you guys need to rewind the video, slow it down, please feel free to do so. But if you do have any extra additional questions, you guys can always comment them in the comment section down below. Alrighty guys, so we are at the end. I did my chain 2, so now I am about to close it off. Which is the slip stitch in the 3rd chain when you first started your round. Chain 1. And cut your work. Y'all, we literally just did 4 rows that freaking fast. Like, we are experts. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 freaking rows, you guys. Like, what? That is insane. Okay, you guys, so now for the last row, which is this turquoise row. As you can see, we now have 1, 2, 3 centers. So 1 cluster in this one, 1 cluster in this one, 1 cluster in that one, and then of course our corners, and then we're going to be done. Then I'm going to show you guys how to put your little strings, hide your strings basically. Alrighty, so let's get started with our last row. So we're going into this corner right here. So we're going to do our chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then our, get that out the way, our 2 double crochets. And remember, your chain 3 does count as 1 double crochet. Okay, so we got our first cluster, and now we're going to move on to our first center space. So do your 1 cluster. Okay, do your second cluster in the next space. Okay, and then your third cluster in the next space. Okay, so we have our corner cluster, half of our corner clusters, and then we have 3 in the middle, and then now we're on to the corner space. So 1 cluster, chain 2, your second cluster, okay, then we're going into straight into this next space with 1 cluster, then we're going into the next space with 1 cluster, next space, 1 cluster, now for our corners, 1 cluster, chain 2, your second cluster into that same space. Okay, now we're in between our rows, in between our sides, sorry. We're going to do 1 cluster, okay, then we're going into the next hole with 1 cluster, okay, our next hole, 1 cluster, okay, now we're into our last corner space, so we're going to do 1 cluster, chain 2, our second cluster to that same space, okay, now we're back to the side. We're going to do 1 cluster into that one, okay, 1 cluster into the next one, our last side cluster, okay, and then to finish off our corner cluster, we're going to put 1 cluster right here, and then we're going to do our chain 2, slip stitch, chain 1, and we're gonna cut our work. Oh my gosh, guys, we just did a freaking granny square, you guys. I'm so proud of us. I am very, very proud of us because we did that, period. Hey guys, so we finished our freaking granny square. Now I'm just going to show you guys how to hide these pieces in the back. So basically I'm sewing these together so I really don't hide this piece right here. So yeah, but we're going to flip it to the back, and I usually use a smaller hook for this, but I don't feel like getting it, so we're going to use this 5. So let's do this pink one right here. Let's do this, well, this white one, sorry. So basically you're going to go in behind the next stitch over. So you're just gonna find a little space in between the back of it. So the back of it, you're gonna wrap it around and you're just basically just pulling it through. Now I'm gonna do this other little piece right here. And we're gonna pull it through. And if you do have excess, of course you could just snip it off. So let's do this purple one right here. We're gonna go into these down here. So you just find a little space under it, and then you just pull it through. Find a little space. It is definitely easier with a smaller hook. And then we're gonna pull it through. Okay, and then we have a little excess, so you can cut it off. Okay, now we're gonna do this white one right here. We're gonna go through this purple. Okay. Okay, so if it's like little like that, you can either leave it or just snip it. Totally up to you. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna do the rest later. But yes, y'all, we made a freaking granny square. And again, if you are interested in and you want me to do a tutorial on just a solid color granny square without switching, no colors whatsoever, please comment it down below, or you can message me on my socials. Always check my description because it can change from time to time. And yes, y'all, that is the granny square tutorial. Comment down below and let me know how you feel about it. Was it simple? Was it easy? Was it some stuff you had a hard time with? And yes, y'all, that is it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn your post notifications so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. See y'all later.